Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk, live from the City of Angels. Our Sunday evening spectacular gets underway. It's good news, bad news for Warner Brothers. Well, normally a studio would be super stoked to have the top two films at the box office. But when one of them did not do well, that is going to be problematic for the folks down the street come tomorrow morning because this film got squashed. Check out the numbers here as we roll in. And welcome to the show, by the way, here on this Sunday night. Appreciate you being here. Like, subscribe if you've not already. Let's go to it directly from the email from our good friends at Warner Brothers. Weekend debut of $25.4 million stateside. International, only 18 million. Worldwide, 43.4 million. This is really unimpressive. This is $100+ million film. Some have it at like 105, others 120. I would go with the higher number. They're always going to sell you on a lower budget. This had a higher budget. I'd take 120. That means profitability is at least 250 plus. This film is going to lose them a ton of cash. You're going to tell me right now it was going to go to Max. I get it. Yeah, but still, why did it not do well? Let me tell you why. Let me go over some of the details. I'm going to tell you the top 3 reasons why this film did not fire and it ends up not doing a great number. Disappointment. Huge disappointment. Okay, here it is. So, first of all, you have a cinema score that's B+. We talk about that all the time. Why is that important? No one talks about cinema score. Fine, I get it. That's not what you need to understand why we bring this up. That is word of mouth. They go to the theaters here in Vegas and Phoenix and Denver and various places. I know those for sure. And they hand people a card after the movie and say, what'd you think of it? And it's got all this stuff. In fact, I've got one here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. You guys ready? This is the cinema score. I have it in front of me. I got it when I went there a few, months now ago. They come and give you this, and you can see, what do you rate the film? A through F. And this film got a B+. That sounds good on a normal scale. It doesn't work like that. B+ on a cinema score is like a C, C-. It's so top heavy with the grades. You really wanted an A, no lower than A-, so it's not good. So that's going to lead to my first point why the film did not do well. I want to mention the top 5 locations. I did it this morning on Breaking Box Office. I know you guys like that, so let's do it quickly. Top 5. AMC Burbank, my home theater. 1, 2, AMC Empire, New York City. 3, Harkins Estrella Falls, Phoenix. 4, AMC Grove here in LA. Wet and rainy LA. We have like flash flooding here. We never get this. This tropical storm / hurricane came up, and it is not good outside. It's not like we're building an ark, but it's not fantastic. And folks went to AMC Century City in LA. So one of the reasons that the film probably underperformed here, and look at the tops, look, the theaters I just mentioned, 3 of the 5 are in LA. So when it's raining like this, people don't go to the movies. I went to see Old Boy. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, because if you haven't seen it, you need to go see it now. But that dampens the figure because people stay at home. They're like, it's like a snow day here in LA. It's raining. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so here are the top 5 reasons that Blue Beetle underperformed. I'm going to go 3. Let's just make it and tighten it up. First of all, the number one problem is very simple. The movie's mid. Go back and watch the reaction stream from Thursday night. This is not a great film. It's also not Beau is Afraid. It's not unwatchable. It's just not anything that's going to get people fired up, hence that B+ cinema score. It's just commercial crap. There's nothing interesting about this film. You've seen it so many times before. The chosen superhero narrative. Oh, I don't want to do it, but I have to. It's chose me. I have to be out there and fulfill my destiny. Done with these movies. Also, I mean, number 1, if the movie's mid, then you're in big trouble, okay? Number 2, the audience's attention is elsewhere. School is back for virtually everybody now. Kids are thinking about that. That's the audience for this. Younger folks who watch Cobra Kai, get Jolo and have him, draw some people into the theaters that watch Cobra Kai. Well, it didn't happen because they're worried about school. They're worried about other things. Football is cranking back up. Preseason. MLS, huge game last night in that Leagues Cup with Inter Miami winning. And that all detracts from the attention at the theaters And also, we know Barbenheimer sucks so much box office oxygen out of the marketplace, and that's never a good situation, especially for an August film that is a dump month. Number three is the bigger thing that we need to discuss here tonight: the DC disaster. After The Flash and Blue Beetle, it really, I mean, how could it have gone worse for James Gunn and Peter Safran as they start their new DCU? You can't take two blows like that and not have it greatly affect that DC brand. For Gunn, he had to know that he was in trouble with this film. I don't think anybody expected The Flash to go down as hard as it did. And especially after watching Blue Beetle, what a disgrace it is to watch a film in Blue Beetle that is getting more praise from certain people than The Flash. The Flash takes out and takes Blue Beetle and whips it and drags it down the street. And then there's a bloodied Blue Beetle carcass, courtesy of The Flash. So much better, so much stronger film. Yet here we are with people saying Blue Beetle's so good because of diversity. It's not good because of diversity. Nothing is great because of diversity. It's great because it's great. I have never watched a sporting event and said, this guy is a great athlete because he's black. Messi is so fantastic because he's white. Spanish. Whatever. Argentinian. No one who thinks like that. Don't do that shit. Okay. I promise I wouldn't do it again, but those people are overpraising it. What's next for this, for DC? And what's next for, if you're James Gunn, I think you might just release Aquaman next week. Just get it out. Hey, guys, by the way, flash release. They don't want to use that language. Here is this instant release for you. Aquaman is wide next Friday. Just get it out of there. That's what I would do if I'm Warner Brothers. Just dump it, because this is bad for DC, and they've got to have some, plan. Obviously, they have a long-term plan. It better work out, because right now it is not working out. We have producer Nate here tonight on this Sunday. Thanks for being here again. Any comments about Blue Beetle? Let's bring a couple of them in here before I go into the next thing, which is Oppenheimer getting past 700 million worldwide. It's now over. It jumped over Interstellar, which makes me sad, because I think Interstellar is Christopher Nolan's best film, his most emotional film, without question. Alex, definitely a disappointing weekend for Blue Beetle, but I wonder what it means for WB, considering it's initially intended for HBO Max. That's what I said. I led with that. I gotcha. Yes, but even if it were intended for Max, which apparently it was, that doesn't mean that you can't have higher expectations for the film. Let me show you, and this is not just me saying the film is disappointing. And I'm not calling it an outright bomb. But look, here's Variety. What's it say in the headline? And Variety's relentlessly positive, right? All the time. Blue Beetle stumbles. Okay? So we're not being unfair here at less than 25 million. We're being totally fair here. Arpita, woeful misunderstanding of a Latino audience that doesn't exist. Yeah, I mean, people thought that they'd show up in droves, Latino audience, and it didn't happen. Listen, one thing we need to talk about is, just because you say that people need to come doesn't mean they're going to. They have to feel compelled to go. Barbie didn't succeed at one point almost $3 billion worldwide now because people felt that it was a feminist movie. They wanted to have fun. They liked Barbie. Most people did, except for Ben Shapiro, who's the worst film critic on planet Earth. The rest of us at least found a lot of positives out of the film. But no one forced people to go to Barbie or Oppenheimer. You can't force people to go to a movie. And that's kind of what this whole marketing was. It's important to go see Blue Beetle because of representation. It's the first Latino great, fantastic. It's a movie. Just, is it good or not? I just am tired of that mindset of let's praise things because of inclusion. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to praise things for merit. That's how it'll always go. And, let's just go ahead and dovetail this right now. Let's go right into the whack film review spotlight. And this is a guy that you seem to have a lot of love for, you guys. I don't really know or watch or know anything about the guy, but y'all tell me about Mark Kermode. Is that how you say it? It's not Kermode, is it? This guy, he's a big YouTube guy, right? He's a UK critic. Let's read his Blue Beetle review, and then everybody just get ready. This is, first and foremost, fun. And it wouldn't be half as much fun were it not for the boisterous dinner table vibe that drives the film. Listen, Mark, not only that, dude, 4 out of 5. You guys are putting these on pedestals, and every time you do, I come across shit like this. Mark Kermode's really good, and then I read 4 out of 5, a fun film. 4 out of 5 for Blue Beetle? Then we have our boy Fantasy recommending Beau is Afraid in Babylon. These critics suck ass. They're terrible. There's 10 of us that are good. Not even that. There might be 9 or 8, maybe 7. Mark Kermode is off of Survivor. You're off the island. 4 out of 5 for this film. If he said it was fun and gave it 2.5 or 3, I wouldn't be dragging him right now. But Mark, dude, you can't miss like this. The movie's mid. Aggressively mid. Okay? Producer Nate, any other Blue Beetle comments before we move on? I want someone to say, Mark Kermode, nope, too late. It's over. It's over. Bodie, no positive Blue Beetle review that I read has strictly praised it for its diversity. Of course it's not. Bodie, listen, that's great. Bodie always comes in and wants to stir shit up, which I freaking love. Bodie, here's the problem with what you just said. Also, no positive Blue Beetle review doesn't mention the diversity. So what's the problem with that, Bodie? Let me help you. That doesn't factor into the grading system. I have never watched a film directed by a woman and said +1 point for a female director. I have never watched a film directed by a black director and said -1 film because it's a black director. I had to do that to get you guys really understand what we're doing here. Are you kidding me? Don't do this shit. The movie's good or it's not. The diversity doesn't matter. It's part of the film just like anything. When I watched Old Boy, I wasn't watching Korean actors. I was watching a film about human beings. Get your heads out of this shit about the color of people's skin and the race and the religion and just approach human beings as people. End of story. I'm not going into it again. I'm right. I know I'm right. I'm done discussing that. It is over. I'm dreaming. The Flash is a total mess. Real Russell Wilson. If you think Blue Beetle was better than The Flash, Russell Wilson, honest to God, it's over. It's over. It's over. If anyone says Blue Beetle is better than The Flash, that's the end. Just like Kermode giving it 4 out of 5. It's over. I don't care how long Mark Kermode's been in the business. When you miss 4 out of 5 for Blue Beetle, and this is one of our elite film critics, certainly not an elite film evaluator like me, because he would never say 4 out of 5 for this. We might give 4 out of 5 for Ant-Man 3. Ant-Man 3 is way better than Blue Beetle 2. Okay, let's don't even, guys. I can't. It's raining. It's coming down to the point we might be the set might move out of here in a flood, which some of you would applaud, and I don't blame you. But don't tell me that Blue Beetle is better than Ant-Man 3. But representation, don't care. We're only watching the movie, reviewing the movie. We're not reviewing the ethnicity of the people involved. We're not doing that. That's not what we're doing, okay? We're reviewing movies. That's what we're doing, okay? Everyone on the same page? Awesome. Glad to hear it. Okay, let's get to Oppenheimer. I can't do it. We'll do more Blue Beetle later. Here we go. Oppenheimer hits $718 million worldwide. This is now the 4th highest grossing Nolan film. It takes out Interstellar. You guys know how I feel about Interstellar. I love the film. I think it's if not, it's not perfect because here's the problem. This is Nolan fucking with the audio. He didn't do that in Oppenheimer. Thank God he learned his lesson finally. But yeah, if the audio were there, then I would say for sure this is almost a perfect film. There's issues with it, but I'm saying the emotion of it alone. 718 million. Okay, fourth highest grossing film of 2023. So it's behind Mario Brothers 1, Barbie 2, Guardians 3, and now Oppenheimer's the fourth highest grossing worldwide film of the year. And as I stated today, the impressive thing about this is the IMAX money. The IMAX money is at 100 and let me see here. Where is it? It's like 150 million in IMAX alone, which is absolutely insane. It shows you again the importance of these PLF screens. We talked about it this morning on Breaking Box Office. You need to have these screens. People want to see these movies in the best format, the IMAX, the Dolby, the Prime, the RPX, 4DX, whatever Cinemark has. The Cinemark giant ass screen. They want to watch these things like that. So you need to have more of those. So let's hope that the theater chains are aware of that from the summer. It's the number one lesson. Oppenheimer is now out of IMAX. And you have Blue Beetle in there sucking. There's like 5 people watching Blue Beetle. And Oppenheimer listen, it wouldn't be sold out, but there'd be a lot of people in there. Now, the 70 millimeter IMAX is going to be almost sold out. People still want to see it. This also speaks to one thing about IMAX and movie going, and this is why we're going to talk about Old Boy in a few minutes. I just came out of that. I haven't seen it in 20 years. These are limited edition, right? You have to go to the movies to see these things on the big screen when they're out, because once you miss that opportunity, it rarely comes around again, especially if the film's not a hit. One of the reasons I went to go see Moon Age Daydream like 6 times is because I knew that Moon Age Daydream was not going to be available for me to see in IMAX or a premium format, maybe ever again. So when that happens, you need to take advantage of it. And that's what people I think are doing with Oppenheimer. They're seeing it 2, 3, 4 times. I've seen it 3 times, all 3 formats, 70 millimeter, IMAX 70 millimeter, and then regular IMAX. So all 3 of those, I haven't seen the regular, don't need to. Why would I? They still have it in 70 millimeter down the street in Burbank because it's LA. They're going to do that. This is the film capital of the world. But Oppenheimer is still kicking, and it's going to keep going for a while, and it's obviously going to be a huge awards film because you have the box office success to tie to the critical acclaim of the film. Rusty, yeah, I thought Oppenheimer might have issues with runtime and possible Tenet hangover. We all did. Tenet came out during COVID, as we know. I drove to Vegas to see it because in LA we were told it was too dangerous to go to movies. If you go, you'll die or you'll kill most people that you know by going to the movie. And we were sold that. And as such, we closed our theaters. Can I just take a moment to say that short of heads exploding scanner style in the streets, we're never doing that again. Okay? It literally has to be people walking down the street and heads exploding. Then, okay, maybe we'll shut a few things down. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to just walk past. I might even at that point, well, there's someone whose head exploded. I'm just going to walk right by. Is that okay? Okay, I don't want to step on it. Let me just step. I know this is gruesome. I get it. The point is that we're not doing it again. But anyhow, back to Tenet. That's what happened. Tenet was caught up in the whole COVID shit. I had to drive to Orange County to see it for a second time. You know, that whole thing. Let's hope they don't try to do it again. Or can I just say this? If they do, will you guys make a pledge with me here tonight to not go along with the bullshit this time? Okay? Just don't do it. Just be disobedient. Say no thank you. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking you, when they say, can you do this? You say, I'd like to kindly reject that. To be an asshole about it. Just say, I just don't think we're going to be doing that. Okay? Let's just keep doing our thing. And thank you for looking out for me because I know that's what you have in mind. It certainly is my best interest. There's no question that's what the government has for us. All right, back to movies, everybody. Back to movies. Let's go to Barbie because it is, what do you expect? Don't climb it. It keeps going up and up. $1.28 billion right now directly from the Warner Brothers email. Where else are we going to go? The second biggest Warner Brothers movie of all time globally, ahead of Aquaman now. What's the number one biggest, highest grossing Warner Brothers movie of all time? Come in right now at the chat. Producer Nate, get ready, crank them up. Give me the guesses. What is the highest grossing Warner Brothers movie all time worldwide? Ready and go. Input and start popping them up before I reveal what it is. Okay? Pop it up, and I'm going to keep going through the email, and then you tell me what is it. Okay? It's the number one film in 2023 in 32 markets, including Italy, UK, Poland, Brazil, and Australia. By the way, it's the biggest industry film ever in Ireland. Where else are you getting this information? Nowhere. All right, let's continue. And then anyone guesses, what's the biggest Warner Brothers film of all time? You guys are afraid to answer, aren't you? You guys are like, I don't want to say what it is. What is it? What is it? It's not The Flash. It just beat Aquaman, so you know it's not that. It's not The Dark Knight. It's not The Dark Knight Rises. It's not The Batman. What is the highest grossing Warner Brothers film of all time? It looks like producer Nate is sleeping, so I'm going to hit a couple of these. Let's see. Okay, we got Harry Potter Part 2. We got Harry Potter 8. Harry Potter. The Nun. Jeffrey, you're very close. The Nun is right there. It's not Barbie. Oh my God, Mark's on point. Yeah, not here with Blue Beetle. He's definitely not on point. How do you miss that bad? Don't you dare come in here and say, but you said Aquaman. Or sorry, my bad. Ant-Man's so great. It is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Nice job, everybody. A+ for everybody who answered that. I had to think about that for a minute. Honestly, when I read the email, it doesn't have it. And I go, what the hell was the number? What is it? I go, it's not The Dark Knight. We already know it's not dark. What is it? So if you took a second, listen, it's okay. It's all good. Let's do this. Strays got pounded. Everybody groan and like at the same time. Like. It got pounded with 8.3 million. I had the MMT projector on this at 14. So I'm like off by 40%. I thought the film would outperform. I thought people would enjoy Ted with dogs, dropping F-bombs, shit jokes, sex jokes, and good voices by Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx. We think what's happened? He voiced this before whatever happened to him. So we know it's Jamie Foxx. But what happened to this film? Let me tell you what happened. Here's what I think, and you guys come in the comments and tell me. Whenever you move a film, it's not a good thing. It indicates to the public you don't have a lot of faith in this thing. So if you recall, I'm sure you don't, because why would you? Strays was supposed to come out early June. I want to say like the 8th. So Universal, for whatever reason, said, we're just going to push this off until August, which is kind of, I think, if I think about this here right now, right on the moment, live, because that's what we do. We don't do this shit like all the other YouTubers who couldn't do a live show to save their life, certainly a one-man show. They would all fail miserably. I was watching one of my haters' videos. I'm not going to say who it is. I don't want to bring a spotlight on this person. And I was like, this is taped, and it still sucks. You're not live and you're terrible. That's a bad combination. That means you don't have the talent. Don't do this. Okay? Sorry. Truth. I don't know what to tell you guys. Call me the Simon of the Space from American Idol. I have no problem with that because that's what we do here. But when Jamie Foxx had his stroke, right? He had something terrible happened to him. We assume it was a stroke. That's when he would have been promoting it. Then we had the strike, so then you didn't get promotion and you pushed the film back. It was just a terrible set of circumstances for Strays, which ends up with 8.3 million. This is bad news. I'm not excited about this. Meg 3, there's the emojis, as you can see on the lower third. This is going to happen. And you're like, why are we going to get a Meg 3? Everybody, here comes the Warner Brothers email for the Meg 2, The Trench. Now in its third weekend, it's grossed an estimated $316 million worldwide. International, $250 million of that. So what is the percentage on that? Like 75% of the money has come from overseas. That does not happen often. Barbie is, like 40-60. 40 stateside, 60 overseas. That's more like it. Not 25-75, or maybe it's 20-80 here. I don't know. I don't have a calculator. Someone do it for me. It's got 250 international, 316 total, so that means stateside it's only made 66 million. Okay? Look at China. China has, what the hell's the number in China? It's over 100 million in China. Where is it? It's down here. Hold on. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. China. This is the weekend box office. Where's the cum? Give me a second. Here it is. $106 million in China. Mexico, 18.3. But look at the drop off. 106 to 18. China alone. China is he's doing the Trump thing again. China. Here it is. 106 million. That's, look, all the films have done so poorly in China lately. MI7 didn't do well. Barbie obviously didn't do well there. Did Guardians 3 do? I don't know the number I have in front of me, but it's not 106 million. The Chinese folks like giant shark movies that suck, because Meg 2 is bad, right? There's barely any Meg in it. It should be called just The Trench, or it should be called Underwater Ripoff, the Kristen Stewart movie, which is better. Not a great movie, still better than Meg 2. So we're getting a Meg 3, because look at China. $106 million. Good God. Thank you for nothing, China. Thank you for nothing. Thank you for giving us another shit film, undoubtedly. Tonight's kit. Yeah, 25%. Thank you. Thank you, Aaliyah. I just looked at those numbers. 24.61, Aaliyah. This is why our viewers are the best. If we were like in a Rumble with Grace Randolph's viewers, it would be, they could have 1 million and we could have 50 and we would kill them. It would look like Lord of the Rings, right? We would just have a small band and we would decimate Helm's Deep. Everybody would die. All of them would go, because they can't handle. They can't stand. And with the power that we possess. Tonight's kit, by the way, Aston Villa 4-0 winners today. Can you believe that's a big win for the Premier League? Huge. Everton sucks. Okay, let's go to any comments. Producer Nate, hit me with something if you want. I'm going to go into some more stuff here in a moment. I want to talk about Rachel Zegler. I want to talk about Old Boy and also the strike. Exactly, Rusty. We've said that so many times. For those of you who don't know the story of Pacific Rim 2, the whole reason that film was greenlit was because of China money. And without the China money, you don't get Pacific Rim 2. Because the first didn't do that well here stateside, but did so well over there. So Warner Brothers, as that's a Warner Brothers film, knows very well all about China money. Weber's going to get canceled. I'm just saying it for good God. You guys, just please don't do that. Okay, here we go. This is an interesting article I read. Is this true? You guys tell me if you think this is true. This is from the Hollywood Reporter saying box office mayhem. Hold on. Let me pop it up for you guys. Starless publicity campaigns start to impact grosses. TMNT, we've been saying for the past several weeks, the movie is not doing the numbers we thought it would do. It's still at like 88 million domestic, good number, right? Solid, but I thought it could get to six figures. I thought it'd get to 100 million, right? Triple digits, and then overseas do roughly the same. It's not happening. And they're saying one of the reasons is because it's getting hurt by the fact there's the strike. SAG-AFTRA, which is, of course, the Actors Union, and then the WGA writers, so they can't promote these movies. I don't know, though. Listen, as I read through the article, it's like it could be hurt by as much as 15% because the talent wasn't at the premiere. It says, like, they had a premiere on the Paramount lot, and it was only families. There were no stars. It was bizarre. Can you imagine what a group photo would have been like on the carpet of everybody in TMNT? Yes, I can imagine, but no one cares. Do people think that like a bunch of actors hanging out at a red carpet all of a sudden means I'm going to go see the movie? Like, really? Aren't you just going to go see it because you want to see it? Like, I've never been influenced to watch a movie because of a premiere. Like, oh man, that premiere was cool. I love what Ryan Gosling said at the Gray Man, so I'm going to watch the Gray. Oh, I was at that premiere. I was watching Ryan Gosling talk about the Gray Man. They didn't even invite me out to the red carpet. It was actually gray carpet, if I'm not mistaken. They made me go in and watch on the big screen, which is fair because I trash Netflix all the time. This is when I was on like the edge. I was like teetering on the edge. Will Netflix ever invite me again? And then I saw the Gray Man, came back here and detonated. It's one of the best streams ever. Go back and watch it. I unloaded on it in a way that I don't think I've ever done. Even that was like one of the first savaging of a film, and that was right out of the premiere, so that was the end. But listening to him talk, I was like, whatever. I mean, he looks good. He's a good-looking guy, but I'm not going to watch the movie because he's saying go watch it. I mean, are people that easily swayed? I know I'm not. A top marketing executive and other studio notes, no amount of paid advertising can make up for the kind of awareness a star can ignite if a personal social media post, interview, or other promotional bit goes viral. Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, though. This marketing executive. Can I be a marketing executive? Because I feel like I know more than these executives. You know I do. I could be a studio executive for sure. I would just say the movie's going to be fine without the stars. Let's just use AI. Oh, oh shit. Kill Weber, send the pitchforks. No, I don't want AI actors and AI voices. Talk to me, greenlit for the sequel. Yeah, it's huge. It's a great point. We talked about it this morning. Let me pull up the top 10 box office. Give me a second and I will get to it. Let's do top 10 quickly. I did it this morning. If you're not watching the breaking box office, all of it's going to be there for you like first. We don't do the movie math shit like our friend Grace Randolph, who has to like ruminate on it and record it and get everything. We do it like as the emails roll in because we do it live. Grace Randolph could never do this show. She would be terrible at it. She would. I'm sorry. It's true. You know I'm right. You guys know I'm 100% correct in saying that she does not have the talent to do it. Okay, guys? She just doesn't. Sorry. Oh, what a jerk Weber is. Sorry, it's true. Okay, here we go. Let's look at the top 10 box office. Here is let's make it fast. Let's do a top 10. Number 1, Blue Beetle, even though it was disappointing. Number 2, Barbie, Oppenheimer 3, TMNT 4, Strays 5, Bombing, Meg 2, 6, Talk to Me 7. You just mentioned it. Look at the numbers here. It is now at 37.4. Let's call it 37 million, and that is the budget of Beau is Afraid. So if Talk to Me were Beau is Afraid, it would have made its budget back. The problem is Talk to Me is not Beau is Afraid. Talk to Me, they purchased in a bidding war with Universal, so they made money on this film. Beau is Afraid crushed A24 because they gave $35 million for Ari Aster to make that piece of shit film. Unreal. And then you got Talk to Me making the budget of that film. That's amazing. That's hilarious. Haunted Mansion's a bomb. It's only at 58 million. Wait a second. Is that right? 58 million domestic and 85 worldwide. Mission Impossible's over 500 million, but that's still very disappointing. Should have been closer to $1 billion. It's a major. Let me just quickly say this. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. One of the biggest disappointments of the year. It's not Indiana Jones. It's not The Flash, but it is in the conversation if you look at the number that it put up. And Paramount has to be like, crap, we have a part 2 coming up. For sure. Sham, I don't really need to watch Entertainment Tonight or Jimmy Kimmel to make me see a film. Exactly. Who does that? Nobody does that. And then Demeter's the last, number 10, and it's at 11 million. That film's bad. Who recommended that film? I mean, it's not terrible. It's just not great, right? It's Blue Beetle's better than Demeter. Oh, no, Grace Randolph stands here. Too bad. Grace doesn't have the talent to do the show. I'd bring her on and have her do it. She would just go. Oh, hold on. I'll check my things. I do have a whack review, but if you're direct messaging me something on Twitter, I'll go. Let me go look. Give me a second. I do want to do this. Rachel Zegler. She can't catch a break. Well, now some of you are going to say, "Oh, here we go. Okay, got it. I'll pop this up in a minute. I see it's a Blue Beetle thing. I'm going to do it. That's a great. Thank you so much for that, Max. We're going to do a whack film review in just a second. But I do want to talk about Rachel Zegler because guess what? This is like, okay, I know I talk a lot here about Daily Mail. And I don't know if you guys go to Daily Mail, but I'm just letting you know it's one of the biggest news websites out there. I mean, when you talk about big websites that the average person goes and uses, they love going to Daily Mail for all the, paparazzi pics and the celebrity gossip, and then it also does, I think, a pretty good job with the news. Like, what's their top story right now? And then we'll go back to this. Let me just see what the top story is. Top story is the flash flooding here in L.A. Look, Santa Clarita, you got the freeway, San Bernardino. Listen, it's like a little bit of a thing out there tonight. It's like there's a river outside my place. Like you could probably fish. Okay, but this is the thing, right? Is that, look here, Rachel Zegler has her own article. It's like the number one thing in the celebrity section. And this is still going on over a week now. How she went from Hollywood's newest darling to the film industry's most scandal-ridden star. Says she found fame when she was cast in West Side Story, as you know, right out of high school. Then she asked to present at the Oscars. We all forget that. And then she was like, no, you're not big enough. And then she wasn't invited. And then she got to be there. And then she's been slamming Shazam, Snow White. She said she took Shazam because she needed the money. That's the only reason, which I don't blame her, because Shazam's terrible. Fury of the Gods is bad. So I that's smart of her, but I don't think you should say that. But I might let that leak. But you can't in this town. That's not good. She's too unleashed. She's like me, only she's an actress. You can't do that. I can do that because I'm running a YouTube show, do my own thing, not to worry about it. The studios are like, what the hell? But here, listen, I'm going to go to the comments. That's what I want to show you, because the comments, this is what, I do not need Moderna, just what I need. Yeah, no, that's the last thing I need. Thank you. Thank you. I'm good. I hit the gym. I'm in good shape. I take my vitamins. I'm good. You can disappear. Thank you. Okay, here we go. She was selected to fulfill the virtue signaling demands of the woke and the faux woke, not her talent. No one should be surprised that she's entitled and unappreciative. Those who were given things instead of earning them usually are. Fairy tales are just fairy tales, something you dream about happening to you. Should your entire happiness be hinged on the handsome prince? No, but what goal is achieved that encourages, especially young women, if you don't need to share anyone? That's a rambling comment, not good. But these things have like thousands of likes, and they're all like, the problem is she let her fame go to her head too quickly. There's nothing humble about her at all. Humility is a great quality to become likable in Hollywood, and this girl has none. That's what we said. I just said that, right? That she is abrasive, and so am I. I'm not going to lie. Of course, I'm going to own that. But also, I think I'm fair. Again, I'm doing a YouTube show. I'm doing a thing where I can riff on films and say what I need to say, and I'm not affected by pissing off an employer like a Warner Brothers or a Disney or a Variety or a THR Deadline. That wouldn't work. I could never do it. I could never be Scott Feinberg, thank God, because although he says stupid shit, so he still has a job, so maybe they could hire me. But Rachel Zegler just needs to stop talking. Just stop. Just go away. She needs to go away. It'll go away. But when Snow White comes back, it's going to be there again. So, yeah, that's a problem. Okay. I did get we're going to talk about Old Boy in a second. Just if you haven't seen it, it's time. It's time to go now. You don't have a break. You got to go, even in the rain tonight. Okay, here we go. Let's do, though, our whack film review. Again, thanks to Max. Wait, who gave me this? Okay, here it is. You guys ready? Yeah, Max sent this to me. Give me 1 second. All right, this is Teresa Hung. How do you say? Is it Teresa? I'm just gonna say Teresa. In other news, Blue Beetle is easily the best superhero movie DC. Hold on, I'm sorry, I don't have it up there. Let me start again, guys. Here we go. Teresa. In other news, Blue Beetle is easily the best superhero movie DC has ever made, hands down, no question. It's a hit. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stellar story, emotional performances, great action, hilarious. George Lopez is not even funny in this film. He's trying so hard, right? He's the conspiracy theory guy, the crazy old dude going, oh, it's not funny. Excellent top to bottom. Definitely not that. Jolo kills this role. I screamed the entire time. Thank God I wasn't in the thing with Teresa. Do not miss it. Let me check and see what Teresa's thing is. Oh, well, there we go. This is what happens. Okay, this is perfect. This is Hollywood, right? So Teresa is a writer. She writes for Netflix, SEAL Team, MacGyver, MIT grad. Well, she's an MIT grad. But here's the problem. As a writer in this town, she can't be a film reviewer because she can't trash a film, because she has to get her next paycheck from the studio, who might be Warner Brothers. So Teresa is, and you can't listen to these people. Even if Teresa believes this, you can't believe Teresa because she is a writer in this town working, and she does not want to screw her next paycheck by saying Blue Beetle's mid, like I just did. Do you guys understand that? Come in, hit me, producer Nate, give me comments, because I need people to really understand what we're doing here. This is really bad, and I really dislike this, and I'm gonna really go hard here. Teresa, do not even issue any opinion on entertainment things, because you are a writer in this business, and as such, you are naturally going to have to say that something is good. And I will withdraw everything I just said as soon as someone shows me a tweet from Teresa saying, by the way, this film sucks ass. I can't believe A24 gave $35 million for this hunk of trash film, Beau is Afraid. Show me one tweet from Teresa. You're not going to be able to do it, so there you go. Do not listen to these writers. Writers cannot author tweets. And even if they're the Erick Davis, they're in the same mold. They are employed by Hollywood. If you're employed by Hollywood, you are unreliable as a film critic / evaluator / anyone. Your opinion doesn't matter. Teresa, I'm sorry. You might be a great writer. I don't know. I haven't read your stuff. But as a film reviewer, you can't enter that space because it's a conflict of interest, and I'm right, and that's a like. Thank you. Score me. 100%. Thank you, Max. That was perfect, because it's bigger than just the whack review. It's pointing out that these directors and writers cannot speak about films because they cannot say something's terrible, which means they're unreliable, which means they need to close their mouth and pretend that they didn't even see the film, because you're just a shill. That's what you're a shill. You're a shill. If she believes that, that's what matters. Well, but here's the problem. I'm not saying she doesn't believe it, Gone Girl. The problem is that we will never see a tweet from Teresa that says this film sucks, it's horrible. That's all I'm asking for. If you show me one, everything I just said gets withdrawn. Every single one. Every single thing I just said gets withdrawn. Show me one tweet that says this movie, this show was terrible. I can't believe I had to sit through it. Who are these writers? If I see a writer like this doing this, this makes me angry. There are writers out there that are doing these things. No, you're not going to see it. I'm right. I don't care if it's mean, because at the end of the day, there's no counter argument to what I just said, short of you showing me a tweet where she destroys a film. You're not going to find it. So there's that. It's over. It's over. The debate's over. Okay, let's go to Old Boy. Oh man, it bugs me. It's like you can't be objective if you're in the business. It's like basic shit. Come on, guys. Oh no, somebody Bodie. Can you please put Bodie in mute? Will you please mute Bodie? We don't need to kick him, but let's mute him. No, this is Bodie all the time. Here's the point, and the point sails over Bodie's head. The point isn't that Teresa liked the movie. The point isn't that that's fine. I disagree 100%. The point is that she is a writer in Hollywood, and as such, she will never trash a film openly. So therefore, your open praise is empty. Do you get it, Bodie? Tell me you get it, because if you don't get that, I don't know what to do here. I can't explain it to you anymore where it makes perfect sense. And I'm right. Go see Old Boy. I just came out of the theater. I risked the hurricane outside, the flooding. It is bad. There's like a small river outside of my place. But here's the thing is you go do this when these films come back, these classics. You talk about films going back to the early 2000s. This is 2003 that Old Boy came out. And you look at films that really shaped where we have come and go, in the history of cinema since that point. This is one of those films, because you look at the influences here. You look at Tarantino, Bong. You drive so much from what is done by other directors. When you watch a film that is done as expertly as Old Boy is, and just like Decision to Leave, and by the way, we're going to make this a 1-2. We're going to make our must-see Decision to Leave because of Park on both of these. But when you watch a film like Old Boy, and Decision to Leave, you are looking at a film that, from a screenplay perspective, requires an enormous amount of bandwidth, right? The bandwidth to consume Blue Beetle is 0.01%. The bandwidth to take in Decision to Leave or Old Boy is a 99. If you are not fully locked in and paying attention to where we're going and the reveals that are upcoming, especially when you're jumping around in time, then you are fucked. You can't even watch the movie. So a lot of people aren't going to be able to even engage this film because it requires that amount of bandwidth. But when you watch it, the assembly of a film like this takes great skill. We talk so often about directors who try to tell a very progressive, a very difficult film to tell. And if they don't have the skill to get that ambitious screenplay to screen, then the film is going to suffer greatly. And that includes things like tone. We go back, clearly, if you have a film that's going to juggle tone, and Old Boy does, there's humorous moments, and then there's super graphic violence, and then there's extreme drama. And to be able to juggle all that takes a director of great skill. And I go back and I watch A Promising Young Woman. The first thing that came to mind for those of you who have seen that film is Emerald Fennell is going to be a really great director. I think Saltburn has a chance. We'll see what happens when it gets out here. Amazon is really high on it. But when you watch Promising Young Woman, you see a director who's not quite ready to tie together the tone that is required for that screenplay. And when you watch Park operate with Old Boy, with Decision to Leave, you are looking at a master at work. And they just have a skill set that transcends others. They're so far above what the average director can do that you go to see a film like Decision to Leave, like Old Boy here tonight, and you go, my God, the skill of storytelling, because the script is a 9.5, 10 to tell, and then they deliver a 9.5, 10 direction on top of the screenplay. It just doesn't happen often. Fincher is very good at that, obviously. Nolan ties it together. I think Nolan, though, if you watch an Oppenheimer, the first time you watch Oppenheimer, you are going to be a little bit confused by the timelines. The second time, it'll come together. I think Nolan, as much praise as we give him, he could be stronger at tying screenplays together just a little bit more. That is a skill. Listen, we're not saying it's bad. I'm just saying when you watch a Park, you watch a Nolan, Park is just a little bit ahead there, and he's telling a story that's just as difficult as an Oppenheimer. It might not be historical biopic, but it is still a very difficult 9.9 degree of difficulty on the screenplay and the direction to impart that onto the screen. I was with you. Yeah, I guess you were. I didn't see you. It was cool to be in the theater on a rainy day. We don't get them often here in LA. So when we have like a day where it's literally gloomy and raining all day because we have this tropical storm coming through, it's really fun to be in a movie theater. You just feel like cocooned. I was like in my little recliner there. It was really nice. Movie going is everything. That's why we do what we do. It's why we don't talk about streaming, because we are all about going to a movie, sitting in a chair, having the lights go out, and having no one interrupt us. Hopefully no one's on their phone, which in LA it rarely happens. And then we are good to go, and we watch a film as great as Old Boy for a second viewing. Park is just something else. Really deserves much more. And can I say this also, as we go back to Decision to Leave, for those of you who haven't seen the film, if you go back to last year and you look at all the films that were in contention for Oscar, the fact that Decision to Leave was not in the top 10 best pictures is a disgrace. The Academy doesn't know what they're doing, and it wasn't even nominated for a Best International Feature. So not only, I'm not even talking about International Feature, that's a lock. That's given, okay? And it should beat All Quiet on the Western Front. It's a better film. But Decision to Leave should have been in the Best Picture race. It's a better film than Drive My Car. Drive My Car was in the Best Picture race, screenplay. What happened to Decision to Leave? That is something that will never be forgiven for me by the Academy. Never will I forgive them for fucking over Decision to Leave the way they did. You need to let me steer these committees. I'm telling you, put me in charge, Academy, of the committees to when they do the short list. I will at least be able to get you the right short list. Then you can let vote. I don't care. I just want to be able to get you the 10 films that we're going to be talking about, the 15 films in a short list for a lot of these. I can get you those, the scores. Last year, how do you not have Empire of Light in the short list of scores? It's the best score of the year. We're not talking about the best score in the best film. We're talking about best score. Best score of the year was Empire of Light. That's a fucking terrible job. That's a lot of F-bombs tonight. I so apologize. My mouth's so filthy tonight. All right, guys, let's open it up. It's open comment time. We have about 10 minutes. We've gone almost an hour. That was fun. I'm sorry I started a little late tonight. I deleted the first stream, which was weird. I started it and then it like disappeared and then I had to restart it. So anything you want to talk about, except for Bodie, he's in timeout. Bodie just misses the point all the time. He's the meme of the guy with the point going over the head, right? The Fellowship of MMT. Amen. Oh no. Just put him in timeout again. Put him in timeout again. Put him in timeout again, producer Nate. I can't do it anymore with Bodie. I listen. I've said there's some things wrong. I'm just telling you. All I want you to do is show me a tweet from Teresa that says that a movie's terrible. It's all I'm asking for. Then I'll take I'll literally come on the stream. Next stream, I was wrong. Teresa destroyed this film. You're not going to find it. So if she does, I can't wait. I'll do it. I'll say it. I'll be like, oh my god. Can you get rid of the Bodie tweet, whatever it is? Comment. Nate, get rid of it. God, getting dumber reading Bodie's things. Magnus, yeah, listen, it's these films, and Old Boy's the same thing. When you watch Old Boy and Decision to Leave, there's going to be moments where you go, what the hell? And then you have to ruminate. You've got to really think on it as you exit the theater, and then you'll get it. And then you're like, bang. Old Boy's a great example. Decision to Leave, another one. You go, okay, now I see where all these threads came together. That's the mastery of Park Chan-wook and his ability to tell a very complex story with the skillful level of art that he imparts on the film. It's unbelievable. He's just next level. I saw a video of you fall on your face. I told you I was a newscaster before. I told you guys. I told you that I used to do the news. I used to have like a suit on and I didn't have a goatee. I was younger. I don't want to do that shit anymore. You know what the news is now? The news is like now. Here it is. It's like they come on and just say the world's going to hell. Like I'm sure right now, right? There's already another COVID variant. The COVID variant EAB3 is going to cause major trouble for. Okay, yeah, I just don't want to do that. Like you can't pay me enough money to do that because you know what's going to happen. You guys know this is the reality of what I do, and I did it when I did TV. I will break prompter. I did it all the time where I'm reading the title prompt like overnight. 3 people were shot. Do we know where? Do we know where they were shot? Because it doesn't say here. I mean, I would do shit like that. You can ask my friend Jerry. He'll tell you. He was like, what the hell is happening here? I would break prompter and I'd be like, so what's going on here? And they're like, this is weird. And then everyone who watched it, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Okay. Let me just, because I don't get enough. I'm just going to be, because everything I say is true. I don't lie. So I might be wrong, but I'm not lying. There's a big difference. Okay. So when I did TV news, I had somebody, I'm not going to say who it was, someone who was very big in the business, told me, you have a very unique skill set. You have an ability to do live television on a wire that most people do not possess. And as such, you'll be able to go far in this business. And the funny thing is that it's true. I definitely could have, but I didn't want to. I don't want to do that. That doesn't interest me. Discussing, the bad shit in life, people murdered, COVID, war, politics. I don't want to do that shit. I don't mind talking about politics, but it has to apply to life. I want to talk about ways to make you better, ways to make movies stronger, ways to make you a more critical thinker. And if that means pissing some people off, so be it. What does Mark Zuckerberg say about Face Mash in the social network? It pissed some people off. That's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. I like pissing people off because that means you're usually on to something. The thing is most people wouldn't even say what I just said about that whack film review from Teresa the writer because they're afraid. Why? I'm not afraid because I didn't say anything personal. I said you're a writer employed by Hollywood, therefore you're unreliable as a critic. What I just said is accurate. If you don't like what I'm saying, then don't do those things. I'm not going to attack you for no reason. Those are the haters that hate me. They come after me for shit that's stupid. Like, oh, he's opinionated. He's a jerk. Oh, I don't like you don't have any room for people that don't like a film. Oh, says the people that when I said EEAO was totally overrated, here comes you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're a piece of crap. I didn't say it. I said EEAO is overrated. So these people are hilarious. They go, well, don't do that, but yet we're going to do it 10 times worse. So here's the thing. The difference between me and all these other film dweebs, and yes, most of them are, is that in real life, I'm not a film dweeb. I hit the gym. I play beach volleyball. I do things. I have a life. A lot of these people don't do anything. They literally live in their parents' basement. No joke. Like this guy who was coming after me, I looked at his YouTube video and I go, that's got to be his parents' bedroom. This guy is a loser. Like not just like a sort of a loser, like this is a major loser in life. And they're going to come after me, a guy who's doing shit? I don't think so. You're not going to get your shit built off of me. I'm going to laugh at you and I'm going to keep progressing forward. That's what we're going to do. So I'll show you the clip next time. I'm going to show it tonight. But here's my advice. Instead of being a hater, go build yourself. Spend that time on you. Don't spend that time on bashing someone else. Build yourself up. Go do something. Go to a movie. Go to the library. Get out of the house. Go to the gym. Go play volleyball, basketball, whatever, soccer, whatever it is you want. Get something out of the movies. A lot of these people have nothing else in their life, and that makes them incredibly boring. They're boring people, therefore they're boring to listen to and all that stuff. Did you say Strays was going to do well? Because I was wrong too. I mean, I was wrong. Oh, Bodie, I just said I was wrong. I missed on Strays. Who is Charlie the Duff? I feel like I know the name, Dolce, but I don't think I know who it is. Charlie Duff. Do I know who that is? I mean, the truth is, honestly, at some town, it's. I'm Knuff. Thank you so much. Listen, truth be told, at some point, I would love to expand the show and turn it into more of like a Joe Rogan thing. I think interviews are amazing. I would love to, not directors. I'd rather talk to people and ask them questions like that aren't normal. The average person doesn't ask. Because I'll tell you what, from watching the show that I'm going to ask stuff that most people are like, I can't believe you just asked that, because who cares? We're going to do this shit. We are now living in an age where we need to ask questions all the time. We need to be critical thinkers 24/7 and not just take narratives that are pressed upon us. We need to push back. The one thing I'm not happy about, and I'm going to be honest with you as we go forward here over the next several months, during COVID, I think that a lot of us were not forceful enough about rejecting a lot of that stuff. And I can promise you this time around, I will be. I hope that you guys will be too, because at the end of the day, the government is not in charge of keeping you safe, short of the police. They are in charge of making the roads work, which in LA they don't, making it safe for us as far as not having like crack addicts on the street, which in LA they're not. And that's what I want the government to do. I don't need the government to come into my health. I've got that. I'm going to the gym. I eat well. I take my vitamins. I take my protein, my BCAAs, my glutamine. I'm happy. I don't need that. I don't need you guys to tell me what. Oh, God. I've got haters. Whatever. I'm sure you're unremarkable. That's why the JRE is the biggest podcast. Yeah. That's Johnny. See, that's the thing. So let me just say, I'll go a few extra minutes here. That's what this show is. And that's what I think that's what the haters, the funny thing about my haters is very simple, It's true. They never say two things. One, he doesn't know what he's talking about, because I do. They know that. They can't say, they can say it, but they're going to be wrong, and they know it deep inside. So it's hard to put forth a false narrative, because you have to believe in it, and they don't, so they can't really do it. Number two, no one's ever said you're fake. They can't do it. Oh, thank you, Gavin. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. When you're authentic like I am, and I think there's nobody more authentic. I don't, because I'm not even woke or anti-woke, right? I'm objective. So that makes me like super reliable. I don't have a dog in the fight, but yet if I believe I know what the correct path is, I'm going to tell you. So you're going to say, well, you just went off on the COVID shit. Got it. But that's because I've looked at, you guys don't even know how much stuff I've watched. You don't even know, I can't even talk about this stuff on YouTube. The things that I am aware of through brilliant minds that I have learned about the past 3 years, I could go on for hours about, but I don't want to do it because we're doing a movie show. But at some point, I will open the scope, because movies are fun. I like it. It's great. I enjoy it. I love you guys like it. But at the end of the day, I've got more to talk about. And I'm also going to be fearless about that too. And that's what we need more of in this life. I am striving to be as authentic as Grace Randolph. That's the mission. I just wanted to have her try to do a show like this. Do you think she could, just real quickly before we could Grace Randolph do this show for an hour like we just did? I'm not saying it was good, believe me, but could she even do this show at a level of quality that we just did over the last hour? Bounce from topic to topic, pull things out of direct messages, go live, because it is a high wire act, right? There's no stopping. I'm going for an hour straight. And when you do that by yourself without pausing, literally not pausing, that is not easy. And I don't think Grace could handle it. She would have a real hard time doing that. Because she reads from a teleprompter. Remember when I'm looking here at my computer, right? I'm not reading a teleprompter. And you guys can tell because I'm not reading. When you watch Grace Randolph, she's looking at something about right here, and she's literally reading it. Because her eyes are going. The way, when you read something, like, okay, let me just read a comment. My friends know that I will not lie for them. That's different than if I said my friends know that I won't lie for them, right? It's two different things. Like, you can tell the one I'm reading, the other one I'm just going shooting and throwing away. So yeah, she can't do it. She couldn't do it. She tries to play both sides of the culture, where she can never do improv like you do or keep up with the facade. The thing is here's the thing. Shifty combo, thank you. Here's the thing is that this isn't a facade, as you know. It's not a facade. This is all real. I don't have any time for a facade. That's why the haters hate me. They go, shit, he's just raw. He says things he shouldn't. But look, let me tell you something. It's never personal. Did I just attack, what was her name? Teresa. Did I attack her about her writing? No. I told her as a movie critic. That's different. The haters do things like this. Oh, look at your hair. Now, I could have easily, the guy who I was thinking about, and I watched his YouTube channel, I could easily pull him up and just destroy him physically. I mean, literally go, of all the people, here's what I will say to that person. I'm not going to say who it is. That person who is so obsessed with me, I would recommend taking even 1/10 of that time and hitting the gym, because that would do you a lot of good. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say. She's scripted. That's so sad. Guyvermectin, that's really, I love the name, by the way. It is true, isn't she? You can tell she's scripted. Yeah, it's an act. And here's the thing is, when you are unvarnished and you don't have a facade, which I don't, then you are easily to do whatever you want to do. When you're trying to put up appearances, like if I came out here and you guys, so let's talk about the movies tonight, and we're going to, and I was trying to be like I think even the channel was at the beginning. If you try to do that, then when you start to go outside of the box of that little, self-contained area that you're in, it's very awkward, because you're like, I don't know if I can go there. When you allow yourself just to go and not worry about the shit, then you go, and when you have no fear of anyone coming after you, because what am I going to do? I'm going to be at the gym tomorrow. I'm going to be living a life. I'm not going to be worried about the haters. I don't care. Okay. I enjoy film. I had a great time tonight watching Old Boy. Her fans have a weird parasocial relationship with her. I just think it's kind of crazy she has 1 million subscribers and we're sitting on 2,000, but oh well. It's someday we'll get the extra 999 8,000 subscribers. It'll happen. I promise. I promise. I did get the Reffin park thing. It was cool. I watched. I didn't stay for the whole thing. The one thing I'll say about the Q&A afterwards, it's a film Q&A with Nicholas and Park, and it was Park. Reffin needs to like tighten his questions up. He'd be like, "So in the one scene when you did, and then I thought that I should, just be tighter. Be like, talk to us about the fight scene that extended Warner down the hallway. That's it. Or maybe add one more thing. Is that how you planned it?" He goes, here's Reffin. So, when you watch that scene, I'll tell you, and then because the directors don't know how to be an interviewer. They're a director fanboying out. And don't get me wrong, I'd be a fanboy if I had Park or Nolan or any of that. But I would also ask Nolan weird questions. I'd say, here's the first question, just to loosen him up and see what he'd do. Say, Christopher Nolan, congratulations. You now have your fourth highest grossing film in Interstellar. And I should keep saying that. In Oppenheimer. And which is amazing. I mean, what does this say for cinema that a film, a 3-hour biopic, essentially, is 700 plus million worldwide. And I think the most impressive point of the whole thing, Christopher, is the fact that you finally figured out the dialogue audio issues and just stop talking. And then he all of a sudden is like, oh shit. He might laugh. Because that you know what that is? That's a smart question. It loosens him up. And then what happens is in an interview, if they loosen you up right off the bat, you're going to be more open to everything. So if someone interviewed me and they say, listen, what's funny? When I see you shirtless at the gym, what's that all about? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I work hard. I take my shirt off. What do you want me to do? And then I'm open. Then they hit me with and some people say that you're kind of aggressive. And I go, yeah, but you're right. So you're already lose. You got to do that. As an interviewer, you got to be ready to go to open the interviewee up. And then you as the interviewer can go in and do some work in there, but you have to learn how to make them just kind of relax. And that's key. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap. Listen, real quickly, Guy Vermectin, one last thing here. What is that for the record? What is FWIW? Hold on. Don't tell me. For what it's worth, thank you. I learned long ago that being truthful and authentically myself is far easier than trying to remember lies and who I told them to. I see people that lie and pose, and it just looks exhausting. Thank you, Guy Vermectin. You're 100% correct. That is who I am. Hopefully, it sounds like that's who you are. Be more like that. It makes it easier. You don't have to remember. Like if someone says, "Did you say this about?" Yes, I did say that. What do you want to talk about? Sure, I might be wrong. Bodie. Weber might be wrong. I just said I was wrong about Stray's box office. Never a film review, never an evaluation. I was wrong about Stray's box office. I'll try to do better next time. Thursday. It's drying up, guys. We're going to just hold the line and do our best, suffer through these forgettable films we get like The Nun 2 and Equalizer 3. This week, though, is Gran Turismo, which I really like. So go see it if you haven't already. I know they've been screening it like forever. Every day, it feels like there's a special screening. And then after that, we get Dune. Please do not pull it, Warner Brothers. Can you guys do me a favor as we get ready to wrap? Can you send a tweet? Let's try to get this going. Tomorrow, I'm going to start it, and please glom on and retweet it. Let's make sure Warner Brothers is aware that we do not want them to move Dune Part 2 out of October and push it into 2024. If they want to move it to Christmas, I'm okay with that. Slide Aquaman out, put that in, that's fine. But if it moves it, Dune 2023. Let's put it in there. Let's make it Dune 2 2023. I'll come up with a good tag. Please, let's make that go viral. That's what we need because we got nothing until then. But we'll be here. Starting Thursday night, back here, box office preview, as always, live from Los Angeles. Tonight from an ARC building in Los Angeles as I go out to explore the river outside my place. I will see you back here Thursday. As always, thanks for being here. From the City of Angels, Erick Weber saying, peace.